My name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the third session of Apocalypse World Burned Over. Now, what's that? Apocalypse World is this game by Vincent and McGay Baker. And in 2019, there was a Kickstarter where they released this thing called Burned Over. It was their hack version of Apocalypse World to make it more of a PG-13 style game. A number of revisions based off deep play at the Baker House Band. That's Megan and Vincent playing with most of their family and others. And I quite like it. But of course, it's Saturday here as we play. So this is set in Star Wars because it's part of Star Wars Saturday, my ongoing campaign that I've been running since 2017, an anthology style game where every month, sometimes a couple times in 1 month, I will choose a different RPG system. Folks from the Gauntlet community will gather together to create characters, and we will tell stories together set in Star Wars. Currently, the timeline for this particular story is taking place after Return of the Jedi, somewhat before, most likely, The Mandalorian. And we are set on Dathomir. What's Dathomir? Well, if you're not a super Star Wars person, it's okay. Just think of a blasted landscape. We are using one of the burned over hard zones called the Fallen City. So imagine an ancient city of stone and, I'll just read it. An ancient ruined city, skeletal skyscrapers standing or leaning together, collapsed cloverleafs, neighborhoods, and business districts, now blasted, shattered, and fallen. Dathomir is also notable for a few things. Number one, it used to be the home of the Night Sisters. The Night Sisters were Force or mystic wielding females who were really powerful until during the Clone Wars they were wiped out, except for one, according to Jedi Fallen Order, which I thought was really neat. And then there are also a number of Zabraks. What are Zabraks? Those are the horn-headed dudes like Darth Maul from the Clone Wars. They also lived here. Rancors are found here. What's a Rancor? That's those big monsters. The big one that fought Luke in Return of the Jedi and got squished by a door. It's like doors squish monsters a lot in media, sci-fi media especially. And then the last bit is that there's always a red mist. So kind of Mars inspirational look is the way I always imagine Dathomir. So that's all the background for what Dathomir is. We're in our third session, and a lot has happened. So far, we have found that there is some kind of ancient super weapon that is somewhere in this fallen city. Perhaps at a building held by a cult, the building called the Soul Tree. It requires a few crystals, power crystals, to operate it. Luckily, though, those crystals are not all in one place, so that weapon can't be activated because Vale found one of them. And actually, Swana found one of those. Swana's an NPC, an adorable NPC warrior who has kind of attached herself to Vale and gave over the crystal, and Vale just hasn't quite remembered to give it back to Swana. So that's fine. I'm sure that's not going to cause any problems. We've also found out that there are these creatures called the Wolves of the Maelstrom who appear like angels, who are some kind of threat and may be related to the super weapon. We found out that one of the characters was a Soul Arbor at one time before they were changed irrevocably. We've also found that our clone has a number of other clones that are running around causing mischief and problems. So yeah, that's the gist of what's happened, with a bunch of other things interspersed. Before we begin introducing our characters and picking back up play, let me remind you we do have lines and veils as one of our social safety tools. And just to run through those lines and veils, what I see right now, and if people want to make updates based on whatever, then feel free. We've got a lines against death or endangerment of children, animal abuse, sexual assault, and sexual violence. That means that content will not occur in our game. It's just not part of the stories we want to tell. We have veils, these are content we're comfortable existing within our world, but if it starts to happen, this is something where we will quickly fade to black or star wipe, as my buddy Craig Sikar says, it will star wipe away from that particular scene. The veils are torture, consensual sex, suicide, and peril to pregnant women and infants. And I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade the peril to pregnant women and infants to a line personally. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Cool. Those are our lines and veils. But over on top of that, we have one last safety tool, and that is the X cards. The X cards is just one. You only need one. It's virtual, so we all have one. I will say the X card is a blunt instrument. It is not nearly as nuanced as other safety tools. We use it whenever we need to put a stop to play, because an aspect of the story is bothersome to us as people, because your safety, your well-being, especially in this time, your ability to enjoy and being part of the Star Wars world is way more important than any canon or fiction that we've told so far. So you can X card anything. We'll stop, have a brief conversation. I'm not going to challenge you on it. I'm not going to make you talk about it or talk about why you've X carded something. I just want to understand what it was, and then we'll excise it from play and continue on. Do you want to have any questions with the safety tool? Everybody's good, right? We're all good? Cool. All right. Now let's go around the horn and have everybody introduce their characters, and then we will settle back into play. Sawyer, if you could, reintroduce us to your character and also introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Sawyer, aka Ferret. I am playing Kiana 67, the 67th of 77 clones that, at least the last time she knew about all of them. And apparently some of her clones are causing mayhem and havoc and maybe ruining her rep, which, to quote Sonic, that's no good. And just on the offside, you can find me at Ferretheim on Twitter, and I am hopefully working to create some new burned over content as well, focusing on apocalypses from other cultures.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's jump on over here to Steven, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name's Steven, and I use the he, him pronouns. Today I'll be playing HT-37, who is a hazard trooper, like using a playbook weaponized. They are a cyborg stormtrooper. They stand like 7.5 feet tall. They use the pronouns they, them. Their armor is bolted into them. Think very much like RoboCop, where you have to unscrew this big bolt to get pieces off. We saw that in the last session. And the important things about HT is that they have an AI that is controlling some of their actions. And once per session, something like that happens, and there is a move to modify that. HT is also the character that was a part of that group around the tree, but had been removed from this planet, weaponized, and then sent back to quell the populace before the Empire fell.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the moment of if that was that person's choice, if they were recruited, or if they were stolen away. So I'm really curious about that. Sherry, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Yeah, I'm Sherry. She, her pronouns. I'm playing Vale. She, her pronouns. Vale is a Gearcutter. Vale is kind of patchwork looking. She just dresses however she has to keep herself covered and safe from the environment. So she's acquired things over time. Layers. I think layers is her fashion sense. She's a nervous child, and she's a Hume Zabrak mix. So she has some of the features of the Zabrak, but apparently females don't have the horns, so she looks mostly Hume to peeps. And essentially she's gotten herself into a bunch of trouble, and I'm looking forward to how that's all going to roll out. So
All right, thank you so much. And then last but certainly not least, Alexi. See, Alexi, you're probably used to going first. It's I purposely like the A name's got to go last because I'm just weird. Please introduce yourself. Tell
Yeah,
us
I
about your
also usually stick my character at the beginning of a character keeper, but didn't succeed at doing that this time. Yeah, so I'm Alexi, he, him. You can follow my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. Check out Cloven Pine Games on itch.io for a number of my games that are free to download or heavily discounted to download during this time of quarantine. I am playing Bard, the Vigilant. He is a paranoid, sleep-deprived Zabrak. He can see the wolves of the Maelstrom. They look like angels, but they don't stand on the ground, and they have empty holes for eyes. And he is perhaps the only one who is, properly scared of what these creatures are doing, and what their ultimate plans might be. And so he's been, recruiting some allies. He's convinced Vale that the wolves are real, and so that's a good first step. And he's working on seeing if there's a way to rescue HC-37, whom he calls Hate, because Hate appears as a wolf to Bard, and he's tried to solve the mystery of why that is.
And speaking a little bit more about that mystery, in the
Yeah.
end of last session, it was revealed by Vale that Hate, the person and the AI, that conflict between the two of them, the war between them, is what is the wolf or the Maelstrom.
It's almost like there's a disturbance in the Force.
It's almost exactly like that. And
What's
Bard's
the
aware of that,
Force?
so
Yeah.
the
It's
Force,
this thing. Some people talk about it.
It surrounds us and binds us. And, okay.
That's some sort of theology thing, right?
Exactly. Psycho theology. Oh, gross. Let's pick up with Kiana. So Kiana 67, let us be clear. Kiana 67, you had gotten a really sweet job to work for Wisher, who's the Chiss who runs the Rancor pit, and that's how you ended up sticking around there. But I think it'd be cool if we go ahead and do your start of session move here, ear to the ground.
Okay, let me roll it.
Oh, you need to name one of the location one of your ports of call.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. You said the Sultry and Chiaroscuro are big points, right?
Yes.
Let's do Chiaroscuro.
Fun.
I got a 10.
All right. That is fantastic. And don't forget, oh, you've already marked cool. On a 10 plus, word reaches you that choose one. Great opportunity, or choose one from the 7 to 9 list. What would you like to choose?
I think there's great opportunity for me there. What is it?
Oh, sweet. So you find out that evidently the other Kianas have set up some kind of channel on comms, and they've cut you out. But Kiana, say like Kiana 77, either accidentally or maybe on purpose, brings you in. That they are, that number one, Kiana 66, who you know is the assassin of the group, has a new job, a particular job, not a new job type. Yeah, they have their own Discord channel. There we go. Anyway, the Kiana 66 had was searching for some help, was attacked, according to 66, maliciously, as she's describing to the other Kianas, that she's been hit in the leg by a harpoon. You, Kiana 67, know only of one person who uses a harpoon gun, and that would be Bard. But the other Kianas are coming in to support Kiana 66 because she has a hit, and that hit is on a person by the name of Griggs Loof, a merchant in Chiaroscuro, who has fallen behind in payments to none other than Wisher. Wisher fronts his little secondhand store, mostly so she can get access to the cybernetics. He has a really good eye for reconditioning and repairing cybernetics and reselling them. So the Kianas are headed that way, and Kiana 77 has reached out to you because she thinks you might want to help.
Oh, that's cute, but it's wrong.
Oh man, poor Kiana 77.
Well, she was always the soft-hearted one. I think she's a bit of a narcissist. She may have had a thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. I'll be heading that way. I mean, I got paid by Wisher, so I mean, I have some extra income, and maybe some cybernetics would be nice. But I think the one thing that Kiana 67 got from Wisher after some, let's call them talks, and we'll let everyone else decide what that means. There is a special like Chiss necklace that Kiana 67 is wearing now.
Oh, this is like a necklace that's important to Chiss.
Like Chiss culture, like
okay,
yeah.
Cool. That's neat and kind of cute. I like it.
Yeah. So I think she's in her vehicle, just speeding towards Chiaroscuro, and I think would she have Bard's like communication signal? Would he have trusted her with that?
Yeah, it's up to Bard, really.
That's why I was asking him.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I think she will like cut that in as she's speeding along. This is 67 to Hornhead. 67 to Hornhead. Please come in.
Confirm it's actually you, 67.
The rain in Spain falls mostly on the plain. That's why Kiana 67 brings the pain.
Okay, I feel like none of the others would say something that stupid, so fair enough. We had a bit of a incident earlier today.
Did it involve my siblings?
One of them.
Ooh, that could be really bad. I've heard from, the naive one that the dangerous one got harpooned. Sounds like your handiwork.
Look, she should be lucky she got off that easy. She was trying to hijack hate and make him assassinate someone for her.
That, and she'll just, that womp rat, how dare she? That is my brother. Where is she? Do you still have her?
She went limping off.
Where are you right now? I'm headed to Chiaroscuro.
We're headed there too. Watch out though. There's also wolves incoming.
You know I don't believe those exist, right?
Well, today might be your lucky day when you get to learn the truth.
If you can provide me evidence, I'll become a believer. Until then, do you need a ride?
Sure.
And she'll get his coordinates and speed off to pick up Bard and any other people around him.
Yeah, I think Hate was with me last we checked, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
Sweet. So we have the cool. Remind us about your vehicle.
It is the Macho Racer. It has Rancor teeth painted on the front, a Rancor like a van painting on the side, and on the other side, the Empire with a circle and a line through it.
Awesome. So you like we'll pull up and HT and Bard jump in and you take off and taking off from I don't know, whatever distance that Bard and HT had moved from Vale and Vale's workshop and the little clinic that Kretha runs. And so we'll jump over to Vale. Vale, you've got the data pad to run this little secondhand shop of Griggs's. Swana is here. I think Swana, who you've now upgraded to bodyguard,
Yes.
she's pretty pleased with that. she's picking through and has because her blaster rifle is slagged, she's found another, like an E11. It's an old stormtrooper blaster rifle, and she says, so you think I should stand up front, or should I maybe wait on top for when they come? Or what do you think?
And I think Vale stops and says, I think that you should be back here with me because we're going to set this off. And she's like going, this shop is full of cybernetics. We don't have to do anything. But first I have to find something. And you can see her going through the pad. She goes, okay, here it is. And she goes to a drawer and she pulls something down. It looks like a little ring, like maybe this big, very high tech. It's got like sort of a glow when she touches it, puts the thing there, and she goes, this is for HT. I promised him I'd help. And she goes, but now let's get all these armaments set up. And essentially, she just puts like all the arms and stuff, armaments, weapons and cybernetic arms and everything all set up with a go signal.
So your plan is to just set this up as a shooting gallery?
Pretty much.
Wow. That when you go into your workspace to create something, repair something, solve a problem, or get to the bottom of something, I hear what you're saying. So I'm gonna say I need to say a few things. Sure, no problem. Yeah. But in 1 to 4 of the following, I think. Well, you're already exposed to serious danger.
I am.
I think you're going to have to use some of your own gear to get things up and running. Okay. So I'm going to say it's going to cost you a barter worth of effort to get things going. But what that will do is allow you to attack as if you were a gang.
All right.
While you're in this workshop.
All right. Yep.
All right. So you're working diligently. Swan is asking questions and trying to set things up, and she's your little gopher. And then the chime rings as a few customers come in while you're working. How do you handle that? Because Swan is very focused on protection from attack. These people aren't aware that the shops he didn't close the shop.
I know, it's awesome, and yet not very smart. And she stops and she's like, oh, touches Swan on the shoulder. It's okay. And she goes, how can I help you today?
Cool. And so we have like a Rhodian with holding one of her children, and then another child walking along, and she starts asking you for a particular item. Oh, I'm looking for a Hydra spanner that's about this big, and then you hear the chime again, and a Kiana walks in. Isn't wielding any weapons. She just walks in. She's wearing traveling gear, not unlike what Kiana 67 wears, but more of a purplish hue to it to differentiate her. And she heads over to a couple of crates of parts and the like and secondhand things and starts picking through it. Like she's maybe the scout or something.
Okay. Yeah, and I take care of the Rhodian. I'm like, I have 3 that you can choose from.
Ooh, 3.
She goes, each of them is not quite perfect, but they may have exactly the things that you have. And she runs through essentially what the features are on them.
It's cool how you point out the highlights, and the says, you are really good. Griggs is always talking about everything is perfect, and I never trust him, but I just I really. And you notice that this other Kiana's kind of moved closer and closer, and you check her. She's got a little mirror, and she's watching you right now. Mm-hmm. And then you finish up the sale with the Rhodian. She pays you a paltry number of credits for the Hydra spanner
number, but not too many. I put it in the till.
Maybe a little cheaper than there's the price, and then there's the stretch price that Griggs often charges.
Yes.
So yeah, and then this Rhodian will take off, and this other Kiana is still in the shop. What do you do?
And I go, Kiana, can I help you?
Oh, you know me?
I know a Kiana.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know a Kiana?
True. Hey, where's your boss?
Oh, he took a hiatus. Hiatus is what he said.
So that seems sudden.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what a hiatus is. So is that something that takes preparation?
Right. How long has Griggs been gone?
45 minutes.
Do you know where he went?
He took a hiatus.
That's less helpful than I'd hoped, but thank you.
And she sort of stops and goes, I don't know, maybe the spaceport?
Maybe the spaceport. That's very helpful. And she turns, and you see she's pulling out a little comm link. And she starts to head for the door.
Awesome. I am happy if she leaves.
Sweet. Kiana 67, you are nearly at the work at Griggs' shop when you hear Kiana 77 say, Griggs isn't here. We need to move on. Let's check the spaceport. Someone was too loud about their work. And you hear Kiana 66 say, I think that was directed at me, and I just tried to hire some help, and you just need to back off. So you're kind of eavesdropping on these conversations, Kiana 67. Do you let them go? Is there anything that you throw in?
I think I'm going to I think I'm going to like just actually chime in for the first time in a long time. Hit my comm link. I think it's like there may even like be a bit of static as it she's not kept it up. It's like, this is 67, fine as heaven, checking in. You said a spaceport.
And then 66 says, 67, what are you doing on here?
Being fine as I can be and throwing in with the best crowd I know. So, what's going on? What's the sitch? And if I may, would it be okay to roll to read this conversation as read a person?
That seems appropriate. Why don't you read a person?
Got an 8. I will have 1.
All right, ask that question.
Well, let's hold it for now.
Okay.
I think just, well, 66, heard you got in a bit of a mix, so what's going on? How you handling it?
66 answers, I hate your couplets. Listen, a friend of yours decided to stick his nose in where it wasn't wanted, so I am not doing so great, but that's fine. I've got the other Kianas in to help. I assume you've got your own work like normal?
Why do you think I'm checking in? It seems that some people have been taking our rep for a nosedive. I need some way to, survive. Oh, that one wasn't even supposed to be a rhyme. I am good.
You hear laughter. It is likely Kiana 77. And 66 says, well, our quarry has moved on. We're headed to the spaceport.
And why are we after this quarry?
It's a job.
Oh, did we stop asking questions about jobs? Did you get stupid?
I asked all the appropriate questions. Are you here to help, or are you here to question my choices again?
I'm gonna spin my hold. How could I get you to basically tell me why you're after Greg?
Oh, cool. I mean, if you promise to help,
Like, look,
she knows your rep.
I've got a bolter and no huts to shoot. Why are we after this guy? I don't like going in blind.
Nice. So that will suffice. You Widow Core called in a marker. Evidently, Griggs took him for a bunch of money, and so we've got to get it out of his hide, and then Widow will take over the shop.
Ah, seems fair. Is it okay if he's run over, or do we need him to talk to Witter after this?
Just dead.
Okay, headed to the spaceport. Be there soon. See you, sweetie. And see you, beautiful, as she winks to Kiana 77, even though Kiana 77 can't see her.
No, Bard and HT, you guys are, well, at least Bard is certainly aware that the wolves are ascending on the shop. So what do you like? Are Kiana 67, are you headed to the spaceport? Are you taking a detour now?
Oh, we'll stop by Vales if Bard wants me to.
We gotta get Vale out of there. She's not safe with the wolves headed converging on that blasted pyramid that Swanna dug up.
Brother, do you think this is the right course of action?
Probably. I'm confused. People don't normally ask me for commands. Yes, we should do this.
Well, then if you say so, off we go, full throttle.
All right. So you arrive at Griggs' shop then. Bard, you get a weird feeling, like it's like that tickle at the back of your neck, queasiness in your stomach. You sense this is not good. There are problems.
Hey, maybe I want to read a situation then, and sniff the wind about how about what's really going on right now.
That's right, because you have the extra question on read a sitch.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
do get an extra question. All right, yeah. So it's as soon as I get that prickly feeling, I am like as alert as you've ever seen Bard. Like you thought Bard always looked kind of, paranoid and wide-eyed, but at this moment, it's like turned way up, because he had that very ominous vision before we left of the convergence of the wolves. Okay, I rolled a 6, but my sharp is 2, pushing that up to an 8.
Okay.
And then with sniff the wind, I get a free additional question. So let's
Could
see.
I help to give an additional hold, perhaps, or at least try to?
Ooh, Rich, are you open to that?
I'm open to it. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. How can Kiana help you, Bard?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think you can help if I'm like starting to get all like tense and looking all over. I imagine you might be kind of tempted to crack a joke, and then I like hold up a finger like, shh, no, right? And if if you'll respect that and like give me this space, then I'll be able to concentrate and read the sitch. Does that work?
That works for me, and I got a 7, so you should get a +1 hold.
Well, I mean,
Unless the
really,
MC says
yeah.
something differently.
I'm okay with +1 hold, but yeah, it's ultimately a thing where I could let you roll for it. But I like that. We'll just go with you get 1 extra hold.
Great. What should I be on the lookout for?
You should be on the lookout for, number one, this shop has been set up in with heavy defenses on the interior, very hastily, and that could cause a lot of problems in the middle of a firefight. You should also be on the lookout for the sky, because the wolves are above. They're moving on buildings. You catch at least 5 of them. You've never seen 5 together.
Ooh, boy. I think this follows right off of that. I got to ask, how close are the wolves from Sniff the Wind?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is one wolf who is right above the shop as you guys are pulling up. It is looking for some way to get down, and it seems the physics apply to it for some reason. It can't just phase through.
May I answer for Kiana, since we do not know if she's a wolf?
Oh, we don't?
That's I answered. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Well,
for Bard with Kiana right behind him, you can feel that the wolf is also in the past. And if he looks at her, she'll have a halo around her neck as a necklace, and 2 broken wing stubs on her back.
Okay, yeah. So that's like you didn't think Bard's eyes could get any wider. Let me let me see. You've handed me one more question to use. I feel like I gotta use that. Who here is keeping secrets from the rest? I ask. Eyes darting right at Kiana for this.
It's not secrets so much as questions you never asked. But yeah,
technically you did ask, but
I asked a question. I didn't get an answer.
Well, you got a maybe. You didn't press.
Okay. So do I take it then that Kiana is keeping secrets, or is this thing unknown to her? No, all right, fair enough. Yeah, Bard just seems to have been dosed with kind of additional levels of paranoia as he looks over at his ostensible allies here, both of whom are not untouched by the wolves, and says, was I frozen? Can people hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Bard says, I've got a bad feeling about this. Let's get Vale out of there. And I will kind of approach the shop, like, with my hands up, saying, Vale, I know you're holed up in there, but that is not the place you want to be right now.
I think HT, as Bard is starting to read the sitch, HT has gone on alert, pulled out his weapon, is in guard position. Whenever speeder stops and everything, and we're, Bard is approaching, HT is kind of back up, aiming his weapon against the threat.
Okay. Cool. So I don't think that HT sees the wolves yet.
No.
So you're on alert, but you're not sure.
I think HT has this prickly feeling like you would get whenever there's danger or something. This is unusual, and I think it had to do with Vale's tinkering that was done while he was out.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah.
I like that. Then let's cut back into the shop. You hear the sound of Kiana's big speeder approach, and you see Bard starting to come up to the front door. There are no customers in the shop at the moment. What do you do, Vale?
Well, I hear Bard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, is it because of wolves?
Yeah. You got incoming.
And that's when you hear this sound of crashing glass, and an angelic wolf pops down from above, right on top of the counter where you're standing, Vale, and it's going to be reaching for you and seeing if it can take that power crystal that you have. What do you do, Vale?
Well, I still have my stun stick, so I'm going to stun stick it and hope that Swanna can get a shot on it.
Nice. Let's have you act under fire.
All right. I'm just going to roll, and then we'll figure out what that all means.
Okay, roll plus cool.
I rolled a 5. I got a cool of
1.
1.
It's a 6. Delightful.
So close.
Can I help?
I don't know, Vale. Can Bard help?
Yeah, because he warned me.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll HX, Bard.
What's my HX with Vale? Oh, it's 0. All right, fair enough.
That's better than most.
I got an 8.
Cool. Don't forget to be marking those when you guys are making them.
Yeah, I can mark help.
Yeah, mark your help. And for Vale, you need to mark cool. Good job. All right. Fantastic. So you got an 8. That pushes, I'll say, give a +1 for Vale to not fail, which would have been real bad, to a 7 to 9. You flinch, hesitate, or stall. The MC can offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or unfortunate choice. You can allow this thing to grab at the power crystal and take no harm whatsoever.
Nah.
Or you can intercede yourself, and you get to choose. You or Bard takes 2 harm.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to take the harm.
All right, so go ahead.
Because
and
I think that is it, is that all of a sudden she understands why they're there. Does that make any sense? And she's like, and she says that to Swanna. She goes, they're after the crystal.
It is 2 harm. You have 1 armor, which means that you're only taking 1 harm. You do need to make the harm move. So you roll minus harm taken.
Okay. So I rolled a 7, so that gives me a 6.
Hold on. You roll minus harm you suffer. Yes, so you rolled a 6. On a miss, the MC, that's me, chooses 1. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. It's worse than it seemed. Take an additional harm, or choose 2 from the 7 to 9 list above. Yeah, I'm evil, and so here's what I'm gonna choose. You lose your grip on whatever you're holding. The power crystal, like, you get clawed and it falls to the ground. Like, this thing sliced through. You just took 1 wound because your armor ate a bit of it, but it falls to the floor of the little shop. and starts to roll around, and you lose. Like it rolls underneath one of the counters. You're not sure where it is. So there's like this little.
I'm always scrambling after this crystal. It's like my
my glasses.
exactly my crystal there. Okay. Yep.
Cool. And so don't go ahead. Don't forget you get to mark the XP back box for taking harm. Thank you very much for that, Ferret. I think you're like the angel. You're like the good angel on my shoulder, reminding us all of juicy mechanics that we are not quite used to. HT, Kiana, the two of you were outside the shop because Bard like hopped off the speeder and ran inside. You hear the sound of panic, and also you hear a blaster because Sawana is firing at this thing. What do you wish to do, Kiana?
Ooh, I think I look at HT and it's like, you ready for this? You prepared?
I think HT's like takes a step forward towards the door and kind of, shoulders it open and ducks inside and answer.
Yeah, that's awesome. So HT, you duck inside, leading the way for Kiana 67 to enter. When you step into this room, you see the shop. It's like got a couple of aisles, right? And there's all kinds of bric-a-brac that's up on the walls, mostly mechanical parts, and sometimes like there's a crazy little toaster. We've got some other little tidbits that are in here that are Easter eggs for folks who pay a lot of attention and pause the DVD or the Blu-ray. But you also see there's a wolf, the maelstrom, and when you recognize it, your AI tells you, it says we must act, and so it's going to try to take over.
Okay, and what is the AI trying to do?
The AI is in communication, like that struggle. It's in communication with the other wolf, and it's going to go try to get that power crystal.
Yeah, I think I'm fine trying to get the power crystal.
Great, cool. Not going to fight it at all. It's amazing.
Nope. So I think HT basically hits the floor and starts, army crawling kind of, and starts grabbing for the crystal as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's awesome. You look like you're helping. It's good.
There's a shot of us, of Vale looking up, and there's HT, and they're both on the floor scrambling after it. So.
But yeah, Bard and Kiana, there is a wolf of the maelstrom here. Kiana, what you see is, you see the angelic figure kind of phase in. Perhaps is wearing some kind of weird cloak, but you've got those stubby wings. Do you recognize this wolf of the maelstrom, or is this completely foreign to you?
Oh, I have my blaster drawn, and I think Bard will hear for the first, Kiana's usually sing-songy with her rhymes. And it says, oh, well, bye-bye. It's time for you to die. And she's going to do battle and unload with her bolter on this thing.
All right. Let's go ahead and engage the do battle move. You do battle with someone, exchange harm, but first roll hard. On a 10 plus, you hold 4 against your enemy. On a 7 to 9, you hold 3 against them. On a miss, you hold 1 against them.
I got a 13. That's boxcars.
Wow. Okay, wow. So you hold 4 against your enemy. If an NPC enemy holds 2 against you on any hit. So I will mark up my things. This is so now you'll see, Stephen, do battle slow, but All right, I've made my 2 choices. Do we want to? Yeah, I've written mine down, so I go ahead and reveal your 4 choices.
Just got them down. They're in
Awesome.
chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Good. So fighting for blood will actually be countered by fighting defensively, which is my one of 2 choices. Guard someone veil, that works great. Seize initiative ×2. And then this wolf decides to fight opportunistically. So it is fighting to inflict 1 harm on an additional enemy. That'll be Bard. Ha! You take a harm. But
They hate me so much.
so very much. Plus, you're the one that has caused it to reveal, perhaps. You know that there are 4 others. This is about to get really, really hairy.
Now I'd like to see about resisting the machine.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good. Perfect timing.
Yeah. And that is with cool. Okay. I rolled a 7, and my cool is a 1, so that's an 8.
Okay.
I'm able to interrupt your machine. I must deal with it somehow instead of doing what you intended.
Okay.
So I have to deal with the machine. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to open my brain. I think that's, we're dealing with the Force
What an
here.
idea.
There's these weird, wolf things. I'm going to open my brain.
Delightful.
Yeah.
I'm a friend of this.
And I rolled a 5, and my weird is -1, so I'm at 4. So bad things happen.
Yes, bad things happen. Awesome. So you try to open your brain. What does that look like when HT opens their brain?
So I think that HT, HT, the hazard trooper, normally wouldn't. That's just a foreign concept. However, prior to this, I think that there was some level of communication with something outside of the world, like the Force. And this has now become kind of instinctual.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you see it's sort of like almost an overlay, like you're looking through night vision goggles or something like that. And I'm starting to see new shapes, and maybe these ghosts, maybe these wolves appear in a ghost-like form to me.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, you were able to see things, which becomes much more obvious to you when you see 2 more move from the outside, like coming through the front door, and 2 more appear from the back. Swana sets off all of the defenses, so the place lights up with all kinds of cybernetic hands holding weapons and other weapons set up to trigger off. And so there's just a hail of bullets over top of you guys. Everybody standing up is at risk of taking damage. That means that HT and Vale, who are on the ground, you guys are good to go. Kiana and Bard, I think that the 2 of you are going to be taking 2 harm from blasters. You will need to apply armor and then roll the harm move.
I have some unreliable armor. Can we
right.
can someone remind me what it means that it's unreliable?
It doesn't work if. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you mentioned a thing, Ferret, about it doesn't work on a certain roll, and when I looked in the hack book, I didn't see that. Where did you grab that info?
I talked to Meg on Discord, and she told me. That's the way she usually applies it.
Okay, great. So it's a poorly defined thing that you define at your whim. Great, good work, Bakers. How did she apply it?
Doesn't work on it when you roll doubles of any kind.
Okay. Bark's as good as anything. Go for it.
In that case, my tattooed sigils give me 2 armor.
Nice. So the 2 armor means that you're rolling at harm 0. Only if you roll, so you get to roll at harm taken.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think we see like some sort of a like shimmer of a like or a golden glow almost like run through the Zabrak sigils that has all over him, and somehow the bullets seem to be just like, or the blaster bolts seem to be just swerving a tad, and Bard is not getting hit here, unless I roll really badly at this.
All right.
I rolled a 6 because I rolled plus harm taken or minus harm taken. What?
You roll minus harm taken.
But
so it's roll
have a
minus 0.
0.
So you're rolling flat.
Okay.
And on a 6.
So a 6 is still bad.
Yep. The
Can I
MC
help?
chooses one.
Can I help?
On a harm move? Huh. How would you help?
If like
I yelled, "Get down!"
Yeah, yells, "Get down!" or just like reaches up, like grabs me and pulls me down.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right, go ahead and roll HX, Vale, and as long as you get a hit, I'll have that be a 7 to 9.
Okay, so my HX with Bard is 3.
That's pretty good.
Got a fighting chance here.
I know.
Okay, and then I rolled 11, so that's
Wow.
14.
That's awesome. All right, so that gives you 2 at a 7 to 9. Yeah, you lose your footing. You're pulled to the ground. So that's gonna, like, reaction time is gonna be a little rough, but you are out of the hail of fire. Kiana, no one's.
I got an 8.
Ooh, got an 8 on
The
your
harm move. Yep.
Okay, cool. Did you take any? Because there's 2 coming at you.
Yeah, I took 1.
Okay, you took 1. You got an 8 on a harm move. That means I get a choice. I think it knocks you, if you're cool with it. Like, we'll just change the plane. You're on the ground, so you lose your footing as you try to move out of the way. Get hit in the chest with a blaster bullet. It hurts. So go ahead and mark the harm and mark the XP for taking harm if you haven't already. And now there's just a blaster fire of multiple hues: green, blue, red, all firing over top of you guys, and it's continuing to fire. There are wolves here, and they are converging on the power crystal. HT, you tried to open your brain to see things. You and Vale are both reaching for the power crystal. It's right there in the middle between the two of you, and there is also a wolf that is bent down that's trying to. You saying that the wolves can't bend? They can't duck because they float, but
Right.
yeah,
And they can't touch the ground.
I know, it's weird. These rules, so weird. Yeah, so they're taking some fire from this. I think one of them is going to grab up like what looks like the hub of a VW bug and like hold that up.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to put some patina on it so it looked futuristic.
I think I'm going to do with Mechanical Brother what I've never done so far. I'm using his code word. Yep. Pain and rage. Unleash hail of fire. Code word 6798. Kill switch. Engage. Attack these wolves. HT 37.
Great. So I think I'm gonna do battle.
Okay, sounds good.
Sound
You're
right?
real good at that.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, mechanically you are, but we'll see if the
Okay.
dice like you.
Okay, so that's roll plus. So I got an 8 plus my heart is a 2, so that's a 10. And that's hold 4.
Yeah, it's hold 4.
Okay. And then I'll type it in the chat.
Oh, and don't forget, as we roll into the next for Kiana, you seized initiative times too the next time you do battle. So says I do not like do battle. Like, I don't like it. It's like it's I think it's cool for big scale stuff. For this right here, it's wholly inappropriate. I feel like it's too much. But that's just me. I'll get used to it, I'm sure. Or just bitch about it constantly. I should probably make my choices. Sorry. Are you just so I'm clear, is HT firing on the wolf that is right kind of between you and Vale, or on the wolves in the back or the front of the store?
Oh, that's a good point. I heard the command, shoot the wolves. I have an area. Is that right? A weapon that's area?
Mm-hmm.
What's that called? Oh, environment. So I have one environ. So I'm shooting them all.
Oh my god. So here's the thing about shooting environment is like it's if you're using that weapon, everyone's going to take some harm.
Ah, is that true?
Right?
Let me check the weapon that he's picking. The one that he's using. It's the heavy pulse rifle.
Yeah.
No, that would be one environ brought on a single target will deal 4 harm AP. It's not an
Okay,
area
so
weapon.
it's not an area weapon. It's doing environ. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Weird, but yeah, I understand. I remember reading that in the book. That makes sense. It's just kind of a weird way to phrase it because you think environment.
Yeah. If it had area, then it would inflict 1 environment on everyone and the shop. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
All right.
Okay.
So, which of the wolves are you firing?
It would be the closest one. So that's the one that's probably down with Vale and myself.
Okay, cool. So then I know what my my first choice is. And let me do the other one. Okay, so here is, oh wow, that's 6 harm AP with the choices that you made. It was this thing, it does not recognize you as a threat, HT. Mm-hmm. It takes a quick action and reaches down and picks up the power crystal. Like 2 of you were both reaching for it. Then you were ordered to fire upon this wolf, and it reaches down and snatches up that power crystal. The hollow areas where its eyes would be widens a little bit with excitement, and it looks like it's trying to seize initiative with the second. But then you're doing extra harm. So you fire on. What does it look like when you eviscerate this wolf and destroy it? It's a 6 harm.
So I imagine, this looks like HT pulls out, has his weapon. He had been reaching for the crystal. They'd been reaching for the crystal. Mm-hmm. And he then pulls out his weapon and starts firing. And I think that it's a burst fire. So you see, it's almost like a stormtrooper machine gun that just, and the wolf, those that can see the wolf basically is kind of a ghostly figure and, disperses like a ghost, just.
Nice.
And when it does kind of dissipate.
Yeah, you see all kinds of like green, kind of like this green essence dissipates and slides and slithers over things and kind of drips down towards the floor and moving between the plates on the floor and the tile and the like. Yeah, the thing is dead. The power crystal drops back down to the ground. Vale, you're able to snatch it in your greedy little hands.
I do.
Cool. So let's say, since Kiana had seized initiative twice, you use that. I'm going to say you use that kind of fire off the order, if that makes sense. So then Bard, Vale's grabbed the power crystal. HT is just blown away one of your wolves. If you feel it, you feel that malevolent presence disappear. This thing is
impressive.
Gone.
Yeah.
A wolf killed a wolf? What does that even mean?
Yeah, I guess so. Part of me wants to use peel back the disguise. I'm not sure what it will do, since other people were at least getting impressions of the wolves. If I succeed at this, can I expose them from whatever cover they have, and kind of make them hopefully easy targets if HT is good, if Hate's going to keep firing away with that machine gun.
Yeah, I think that's a really good reveal here because Sawana still doesn't know what's going on. Kiana's still a little unsure. She just kind of snatched on a hunch.
Yeah, I think it's time to peel back the disguise, and I kind of,
Do it.
from the ground, like there's just a. I think Bart's hand kind of like goes up, and like he's not looking at it. He doesn't seem to be thinking about it, but his hand is doing that like gesture of like stripping away the disguise as he says, "There are more. We need to. We can't stop. We have to get them all." And so I will roll with weird.
All right. I really hope you fail. I mean, good luck.
Mm-hmm. So I have rolled I've rolled a 7. My weird is 1, so that's an 8.
All right. On 7 to 9, people catch a glimpse unclearly and get an impression of either what they look like or but.
Right. So I described 2 things about the wolves when the game started, and that was that they look like angels, but they don't stand on the ground and they have empty holes for eyes.
I see. Yeah. So ask the MC, which I think they get an impression that they look like the concept of angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't see the empty holes for eyes. 4 wolves are revealed to all of you. Sawana gasps, and one of the wolves who'd come in from the back of the shop snatches her up and starts to fly away.
Can I interrupt?
You can? Sure. Why don't you?
So first, I think that whenever this is revealed, the wolves are revealed, I think that HT also has like superimposed a wolf over where HT is, but maybe it's a different color. So these are green and this one's blue, or maybe red. And then I wanted to see if Kiana 67 had anything appear with that whenever they were.
Oh, that's a fair question.
Does that lingering wolfiness on Kiana become momentarily visible to the rest of to everyone?
Yeah, I think like she has the broken wings, the halo necklace, and her eyes look sunken in, like she's not had sleep for like a week.
Interesting.
Messed up.
So I rolled interrupt someone, and this would be the wolf that's going after. This would be the wolf, and so I think I roll hard against that because I have a move that says it.
Plus cool. You roll plus cool. Unless you had some kind of swap. Normally interrupt someone, you'd roll plus cool. But if you want to roll hard because you've got an interrupt thing.
I've got a move that swaps it to something.
All right.
So I think that makes it a 10.
Nice. 10 plus, you take +1 forward against them, and the MC has to choose the most suitable. You're there first. You're in their way. You're ready for it. I think you're in their way.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. So you move quickly up, standing up. I'm trying to imagine because we still have the hail of gunfire over top, right? So how do you imagine the HT moves towards the back of the shop to get in front of this wolf that has Swan? Is it a thing where you have to move through the fire, or do you think that he continues the quick crawl? I'm kind of imagining like he's like army crawling, but maybe he's got the weird flexibility to move a little bit like General Grievous does.
I imagine HT basically, you see the toes of his boots kind of dig into the ground and shove, and extreme strength pushes him, jumps him where in front of where the wolf is trying to grab her.
Oh, nice.
So this is through the field of fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go ahead and have you roll a harm move. You've got it's 2 harm. That is this kind of environment field effectively. You've got an armor of 2, so you're just rolling flat.
Right. And I got it. I rolled an 8.
Okay, cool. On the 7 to 9, I'm going to say that lose footing, lose grip on whatever you're holding, track of someone or something important, miss noticing something important. Yeah, so you intercede, and the wolf looks at you with those weird hollow eyes, but then its wolf appearance shifts and fades away, and you see instead, you see a stormtrooper there for some reason, and it says, "The Order of the Emperor, get out of my way." What do you do?
Conflicting orders.
Yeah,
Let's see.
very conflicting.
This would be. I think that. Oh, I'm going to grab them both, the NPC and the wolf, and drag them to the ground.
Okay, cool. Let's have you act under fire to snatch them both down.
Wow, that's a 5. Yeah.
Nice.
So can helping help? Do you have to like?
He got a
really
+1
good?
forward for his interrupt. Don't forget.
Oh, so that would be a 6.
Cool. So
Okay.
if anyone wants to and could help, HT try to pull Sawana and the wolf down before Sawana and the wolf and HT are all fired upon. Kind of think Vale's got the power crystal. Bard, Kiana, possibly one of the two of you could help if you're willing to risk it.
I'm up to do it.
All right. Go ahead and roll HX.
How can I help, Hate?
Oh, you could either use your abilities to distract the Wolf of the Maelstrom so that his pull on me isn't as hard, or you could use a physical weapon to knock their footing off. Like if you shot your harpoon gun from your prone position or wherever you are, then maybe that could disturb their footing.
Yeah, I'll take a harpoon pot shot here. See if it can at least give you a little boost. So I will roll. I rolled a 9. My HX with you is 1, so that's a 10.
Nice. All right. That will push you up to success. On a mixed success, you are able to act under fire, but you flinch, hesitate, or stall, or I'll give you a worse bargain. So 2 harm is going to come to either Sawana or yourself, HT. You get the choice.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that. I think I'm going to spend the time to make sure that the Sawana's protected as we go down.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so then I'll roll the harm move.
Yeah.
I'm that 6 + 0, which is just 6 flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
On a miss, it's worse than it seems. So you actually take harm from this one. You take 1 harm.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. So after you protect Sawana, she looks up and meets your eyes. She's shocked and surprised. The wolf is now crawling. Well, it can't crawl, right? You like pulled it down, but it's no longer unveiled. And the wolves are all retreating at this point. The 2 that were behind the big shield, they move out the door and drop the hood, the Volkswagen Bug hood, and the others are moving towards the back door, and they are moving to escape. Does anyone wish to intercede or try to stop them from escaping?
Oh, I do. And does anyone else?
Hate would probably do that because that was the command.
Okay.
So
I think I'm going to use my new move I took from my improvement. If it makes sense to you, Rich, I believe I might be backed into a corner, so I want to activate against the odds.
That does seem a little against the odds. Where is against the odds?
It's in the Undaunted
Oh,
playbook.
yeah.
Yeah.
There we are. This one you gathered from another place.
I got a 7. You make the choice for me.
Okay. When you're back into a corner, roll aggro. On a 10 plus, choose one. On a 7 to 9, the MC chooses one for you. So you have an unexpected ally, you have a desperate opportunity, you have a sudden realization, you have find reserves of speed, strength, or endurance. You have a piece of amazing luck. There's a lot of interesting choices. Cool. So you rush out. Were you imagining you were headed towards the front door or the back door? Where were you pursuing?
Oh, I did not know exactly what I was just wanting to see like if it was able like this move would like give me an opportunity to like take out like either all the wolves, some of the wolves follow them. I didn't know because
Okay.
like the blaster fire is going on. I think maybe she's rolling out the door towards her vehicle with the ones going out that way.
That I like that. Cool. And then HT, you were pursuing. Are you pursuing out the back? That would be the easiest.
For me, I think I'm going to go in the same direction that Kiana does. So I think
Because
it's
she was. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. I'd like a minute to think about it. So let's go ahead and take our bio break. We're at 25 after. Let's take like 7 minutes and we jump back in. We will basically be in a new set piece for the action here. And Vale has the power crystal. Bard, you're there. There's still the fire above you, and Sawana's laying on the floor with the other two of you, and that's what we'll pick up. So see you guys in about 7 minutes.
So, Ferret, may I ask you a question? How does psi work in this game?
Pretty much the same way, but there's like the psi harm move has been a bit updated.
So basically, it's another stat that you can use with certain moves.
Yeah, like the psi armor you have, like that, like the psi rating you have is your armor against psi harm. Because when you take psi harm, the MC decides if it's like from 0 to 5, depending on like the move you'd roll, how bad it is. Like like I consider like 0 psi harm to be like just a very bad scene, like walking in on a loved one that's like something bad has happened to them. While 5 psi harm would be staring Cthulhu in the eyes.
Oh, sorry about that. I decided to quickly try to put some stuff into the dishwasher and then spilled a bunch of stuff. So, dang it. That's what I get for trying to be domestic, but rushing. But anyway. Cool. Okay. Well, Bart's still in the shop, so we can pick up with HT and Kiana rushing out of the front. As you rush out the front, yeah, you have a desperate opportunity. You see that these two wolves, who are dressed as stormtroopers, jump onto speeder bikes and take off. But you had that opportunity. You saw them, Kiana. The wolves became stormtroopers, and while everyone else will see them as stormtroopers, you know what they are. HT, you also recognize these, your brothers, as both of you rush out. But they have hopped onto their speeder bikes and they're trying to take off as quickly as they can. Kiana, you've got this opportunity. HT's with you, it seems. What do you do?
Hop into the Macho Racer. I guess I could grab HT's hand like the first time, like jump us both into the Macho Racer and tear off after them.
Do you fight that, HT?
No.
All right. Cool. So as a couple of speeder bikes start going, and we'll do a bit of a sequence. Let's cut back to Vale and Bard as you hear two speeder bikes take off, and then Kiana's very noticeable speeder hums to life, and she zooms off after them. What do you do?
So that stormtrooper that HT brought down that tried to grab up Swana, where is that stormtrooper?
It and its brother Wolf have taken out the back, and they're heading out and trying to...
I wanted to slap a tracker on one of them.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what kind of move that would be, but...
I am looking and seeing what that would be. I think...
Interrupt, maybe?
That's an interesting thing. To interrupt someone's escape.
That did... Okay, well, cool. Okay.
Or it could be... It's also cool. So, yeah, let's just have you act under fire. That sounds fine.
It's the same roll, right?
Yeah, it's just roll plus cool.
Okay. Not that cool. I should take more cool. But that's enough. That gives me an 8. So
okay, cool.
Like I get something.
On a 10 plus, you do it. On a 7 you flinch, hesitate, or stall. MC can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an unfortunate choice. So you have a choice. You can throw this tracker on, but it will notice that you have done so.
which
Or the other wolf will notice that you've done so, and then once they get out of sight, chances are that he'll pick that tracker off of his buddy. Or, yeah, there's no or. That's the thing. That's the worst outcome. You toss that off, and you know that it's only going to track them for so long.
oh well, I guess I might as well get that out of it then.
Okay.
So
All right.
try to make them paranoid that we're going to be on the offense.
Cool. All right. So you toss the
Somebody else
tracker,
to be
and
paranoid for a change.
just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't out to get you. Swana reaches up and flicks the kill switch to turn off the blaster fire. The shop, they're like the front wall, all of the windows are gone, and there are all kinds of scoring and marks, and a bunch of stuff was knocked over in this big, huge fight. This store is slagged.
Yeah, I go and I put down the metal roller things across the windows, and then I go out to the front and I put the closed sign on. Lock the door.
Did you see that, Vale? When I pushed away the disguise, we saw the wolves, but Kiana has also got something. There's something there. You saw that, right?
Yeah, like different. Yeah, but like yes, we gotta go. We can follow these guys and figure out what they're up to. I got a tracker on one of them. Want to finish this?
This is gonna have to end one way or another, I guess. Give me that.
Oh my gosh.
Bless you.
Well, if you're allergic to that blaster, I'll give you this one.
I mean, Bard's taken a beating, so probably he is kind of,
Is there something I can do a quick heal?
having
Or is
trouble saying these things. No, it's all right. Just, I'm holding on to that crystal.
Ooh, but Vale has it.
Yeah,
Hand it.
I'm putting my hand out for it because she can't just keep carrying this thing around and having the wolves attack her.
But you're hurt. If they attack you, you're down.
I can take it.
It kind of looks at you and it goes like she's gonna poke you. Are you sure? What's a roll to make someone, I don't know, realize, like, get them to do a read a sitch? I don't know. Open the brain, charm or deceive them.
confronting
Yeah, I think you want to. Yeah, when you
No,
charm or
no.
deceive someone, it's definitely a thing. So if you charm or deceive someone, roll plus cool. On a
Okay.
10 plus, they have to choose. Set skepticism aside and go along with you, or else call you a fool or a liar to your face. Oh, so you have a suggestion?
Maybe you're tagging oftener right and giving advice that if he follows, you'll take +1 forward and you'll mark an improvement.
Oh, that's really good. Thank you. Nice suggestion.
Yeah.
Playbook moves.
I go.
Nice.
I say, really, Bard, I know that any other time you would be the best person, but there's blood trickling down into your boots.
So what do you suggest, Vale?
Look, they know I'm the one that's holding it. It makes it a tactical advantage. They're going to keep coming after me. Swana, you know where they're coming for. Bard, you know where they're coming for. Use it or lose it.
All right. We'll use it.
Let's go.
Cool. So then Vale, Bard, followed by Swana. You guys will head outside of the now closed store. Where do you want to go? I'm sorry, you're muted here.
We have that tracker.
Okay, cool. Cool. So you're going to follow the tracker, which we're
Yeah,
led to.
I mean, we're gonna put pressure on.
Awesome. So you follow the tracker through some of the back alleyways here with all these shops that are kind of clustered together in chiaroscuro, and then you come upon an Imperial troop transport, and then that's when the signal ends, as you see that there are stormtroopers all getting onto the troop transport, and looks like they are getting ready to leave.
Okay. So this is sort of part of the official garrison then.
Yeah.
So, Bart, are all the stormtroopers angels, dingers, wolves?
What do I see as I look at them?
Oh, that's right. You can definitely see, right? So you see that there's an entire squad, several fire teams of stormtroopers, but there are only 2 wolves among them.
Wolf stormtrooper clothing.
Okay.
All right. There's 2 in the mix. The rest are just troopers.
So they're just hiding in there. Okay. Let's go careful here. If they're on the troop transports, where would they most likely be going?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't know if that's move worthy. So you know that there's a garrison that is located nearby. That is where they most likely would be going. However, Vale, you know enough about the Imperials from having worked with HT that their signifiers are that they are not from this garrison. So they must be headed somewhere else. And it appears that the transport is trying to take the main thoroughfare to get out of the city itself.
Like past the soul tree or towards the soul tree?
I don't know what that word is.
Soul tree wasn't.
Yeah, the
Soul tree. Sorry,
tree
I
is the
for some reason I heard
location.
soldiery, and my
Oh.
brain got flipped there. Sorry. Past
I'm a
the
little
soul
stuck
tree.
up.
This troop transport is headed past the soul tree. Yes.
Okay, so they aren't going to the place of absolute danger. So, let's see here. What's out there? Just
Oh.
ruins?
So what's normally out there?
Yeah.
Just dunes and nothingness and rancors, and you don't want to go there. It's what normally is out there. Oh, and the rancor pit, but that's slightly different direction. As you look to the skies, you see, which is also where we're going to transition over to Kiana and HT in a second, because you see this in the sky. A Gazanti class cruiser, which is an Imperial transport that is also used. These little ports here that I'm pointing to, hopefully you guys can see my mouse icon. Those things hold TIE fighters. And you see there are a couple of TIE fighters that are screaming past it, kind of running in a patrol around this Gazanti, and is moving to land.
So, is this normal or is this unusual?
It is unusual. The garrison that is here usually just keeps track of things, pulls a little bit of tax revenue from all of the various neighborhoods that exist in the fallen city, and is occasionally a nuisance to people. This appears to either be a wholly separate force that's involved, or perhaps a resupply to cycle in and out people from the garrison, because Dathomir itself is part of this warlord's holdings. His name is Zinj, and he has declared himself loyal to the Empire. So while Palpatine is dead, the Imperial garrisons and the Empire is still a presence in this sector of the galaxy.
Okay. And that's kind of big. She sort of looks to Bard, and I think she's going to go, okay, so we have two choices. We can go there, or we can try to figure out how to hide this crystal.
I suggest hide the crystal.
Okay.
Awesome. And we'll just cut right there with the I suggest hide the crystal. And we swing around, still focused on that big Gazanti class cruiser that's coming down to land. And now we see that there are two speeder bikes jetting towards the exterior of the city, trying to get out of the city. And they are being chased by Kiana and her fabulous speeder with HT on board. Both of these stormtroopers are dressed like scout troopers. You know, they have the cool kind of goggle type thing built into their helmets and lots of black. Their armor is made a little less protective, more so that they can lean over their bikes. And they have those screaming speeder bikes like we see in Return of the Jedi. Kiana, what are you doing?
Catching up to them. I think I am trying to drive them to ground.
Oh, sweet. We get to do driving stuff. Outdrive another vehicle, right? And you wanted to drive to ground. Let me pull up
On
those
distancing,
awesomeness.
so
Sorry, my PDF readers just decided to take a nap. Give me a sec. Sometimes the Foxit reader, which is free and nice, occasionally just, I think, decides that it's done working immediately. I'll drive another vehicle. Both vehicles inflict V harm on each other, but first roll cool. Yeah, to conduct the race, spin your hold on the phone. Okay, awesome. So this is kind of a modified do battle typey deal here. We're making some choices. All right, you get to roll plus cool, modified by your vehicle's relative speeds. This thing's speed is, I mean, speeder bikes are made for fastness, so its speed is going to be a 2. So you get a -1 on speeds and trying to catch up to this thing.
well, I only got a 12 then, so my 13 is a 12.
Nice. You are built for this. That is fantastic. Cool. So with that in mind, on a 10 plus, you hold 3 against the other driver. And if an NPC, the driver holds 1 against you on any hit. Okay, cool.
So we have to inflict V harm on each other now.
Mm-hmm.
My massive is 2, and I assume the speeder bike's massive is either 0 or 1.
0.
Yeah. So I know I'll have the choices to make, and they'll have the one choice to make. So let me... Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of them are going to try to drive safe right now. They'll go full out if they are able to get to the exterior of the city. So they are attempting to increase their vehicle's massives by 1, so that the difference between your massive and theirs is only 1, not 2. Right? Or no, your massive is 2 or 1. I'm sorry. 2. Okay, so now you still have a 1 advantage. You're going to do a V harm of 1. I will allow, you may spread that between both of them, or you can give it to 1 and we'll take that one out.
Oh, I got my choices. I'm driving fast once, and I'm driving hard twice. So my massive is technically 4 right now for inflicting V harm.
Sweet. So what does it look like, HT? How are you helping out? Like, mechanically, you guys are going to overtake these speeder bikes. But what is HT doing?
So mechanically, we're going to overtake both speeder bikes, or just one?
You know what? Let's say that you overtake one of them, and you're going to be able to take down one of them easily, and probably hurt the other one pretty severely.
Okay, so I think that HT basically pulls out his blaster, lays down. This is like a speeder, right? I think he lays down on it and, sights in very carefully. And I think we saw this last session. His rifle has like a little lever on it, and he pulls it, and it extends out, like telescopes out into like
I
a
love
sniper
that.
rifle.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Sweet. And so, Kiana, you overtake the first one. You and HT with your weapons and HT's sniper rifle, you take out one of the two wolves. Not only is speeder bike out from under it, but you fire upon it, and you guys' vehicle harm does a lot to people. So that one gets dissipated. The other one, you fire on it, Kiana, with that extra hard ×2, and you hit one of its two engines, and it kind of skitters across, but continues moving forward. It is on a desperate.
Oh, it should have taken three total V harm because I had a massive 4.
Right, but that shouldn't be a massive against two different targets.
Yeah, but that one took 3.
Yeah,
but
that
didn't
one-
HT like shoot the other bike?
I thought you guys were focusing on the same bike. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused.
Oh, I was too. Yeah, I thought he was taking out the bike I wasn't focusing on because I was trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stop them. I'm not trying to destroy them. I want to question them.
Okay. So, Stephen, help me understand. Did you imagine you were going for the same one that was being overtaken, or the one that was?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. I was going to go after the one that was further away, so the
Okay.
one that wasn't being overtaken. Yeah.
Okay, and then the intent with Kiana was to disable, not destroy. And was HT's disable, not destroy, or?
No, it was take out.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So let me revise. Kiana, you're able to hit one of the speeder bikes, send it the pilot or biker pilot flying, and the speeder bike rolls a couple of times and does a cool explosion. Whereas HT, you fire upon this second speeder, and doing your harm is more than enough to destroy this thing. So the speeder bike is destroyed, and one of the two speeder bikers is down on the ground, Kiana. You do hear one of the TIE fighters. Perhaps they have called for some aid, but one of the TIE fighters is headed this way. What do you do?
Oh, I think she'll like pull up beside this stormtrooper and look at HT. Brother, can you get me a passenger?
An HT will reach down and grab a hold of the stormtrooper and pull him into the speeder.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I don't
Yeah.
see a die roll needed for that. You can grab somebody who's been hurt pretty bad and bait them into the speeder.
Then I'm going to the spaceport.
Okay. Cool. So you are headed to the spaceport. You will hear on your comm link with the other Kianas. They are congratulating each other. They've finished their job, and you hear Kiana 66 say, "Thanks, sisters. You guys can return to whatever you were doing before."
And I'll chime in. Hey, sisters, soul sisters, it's time that we get some reunion going on. Coming in hot. Hope you're ready to take your shot. And I'm leading the TIE fighter to my siblings.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Cool. So you guys are headed to the spaceport. The Kianas, you're calling upon their aid. I think you really need to maybe, you're asking for help, right? Even though you're doing it in your own particular way.
Do I need to charm them?
I think you either need to charm them, or you're going to need to burn some barter to do it as if we had a +1. Or with a 10+, sorry.
Yeah, I'll just say it's like, I'll transfer creds to them. The old way of saying please.
And you will hear 77 say, "Absolutely, we're on our way." And a grumble from 66. Cool. So we'll cut away from you guys. And I know there's been some chat conversation to figure out what's going on here. So, Vale Bard, you've seen that these stormtroopers are leaving. And it looks like we'll pick up with your conversation. So, what do you do?
She turns around and she goes, "We know they needed someone else to carry it out, these wolves. I don't understand that. And we know that they seem to know where it is. And so she actually holds it up to you, lets the light kind of go through it and go, can you see what they see?"
Let's give this a try. This sounds like I'm opening my brain.
Oh, nice. Okay, and so you're trying to open your brain to ascertain what?
Yeah, a little more about the relationship of the wolves and this crystal, because it's not clear what we need to do next. But maybe if I had more of a sense of kind of how. Yeah, we think maybe they want it to activate this weapon. We're not sure what would happen if like we tried to destroy it, but is there a way to make it harder for them to find or impossible for them to use? Does that work as a open your brain?
Yeah, that works, and I appreciate the clarity.
Prompt.
Let's have you go ahead and roll plus weird.
Yeah. All right. I got a 9. My weird is 1. That's a 10.
Okay. On a 10 plus with open your brain. On any hit, the MC must tell you something new and interesting about the current situation. I might ask you a question or two. As you open up your brain to this, you see the now reassembled weapon as it sits inside Soul Tree, the building. Verity is there, and you see that 2 crystals have been placed inside it on either side, and that there is one housing that remains open. Verity is in communications with the captain of the Gazanti class cruiser. She's saying, "You need to find the last crystal. I'm sorry that you are losing troopers to this effort, but we both understand what you must do." And the captain, a female by the name of Daima Jassard, says, "This weapon would be useful elsewhere, so we will take it from you once it has been assembled." Verity says, "That is understood. We only need it for one use." So the answer is that this weapon is going to be taken away from Dathomir once the Soul Tree has used it. They seem to be wanting to use it to fire upon this city, what remains of it, to bring it to complete rubble, so that the Soul Tree is the only solace left in this part of Dathomir. The last piece of your answer is that these power crystals are specifically attuned to this weapon. So if you are able to destroy the power crystal, then they would not be able to operate the weapon. However, destroying this crystal without causing a significant explosion is a problem.
There's the rub. Darn Soul Tree cultists are working with the troopers. They want to use the weapon, and then they're going to hand it back to the dregs of the Empire. They've got 2. They need 1. And it's not going to come easy breaking this thing without causing destruction along the way. Here's a thought, Vale.
So where do we want to cause the destruction?
Oh, I was going to go a completely different direction. maybe we can combine these ideas. You could come up with a reasonable forgery of this crystal.
Sure.
Then maybe we split up. We bring them what they think is the crystal. While meanwhile, we find somewhere we don't mind laying a little waste to attempt to destroy the real one.
That's what I'm saying. What do you want to blow up? The troop thing or the soul tree?
Did I have a sense from my vision kind of where in the soul tree the machine is?
Yeah, the machine is on their main level. Like you were able to see that the Soul Tree building itself, perhaps it was some kind of hotel. So there's like this main courtyard central area with a bunch of black and white checkered tiles. And it's been hastily erected there, pieced together over time.
They've got the machine in the main courtyard. We could try and undercut what they're doing by blowing up the real crystal down below their feet.
Okay. Okay, so we want to take it to the soul tree and blow the soul tree up, is what you're saying, not the troop transport. Just asking.
Yeah. No,
There are different explosion types you're going to want. That's why I'm asking.
if we can aim this explosion so that it takes the machine off the board, then we've not only protected Dathomir, we keep the leftover Imperials from taking this weapon and hitting other worlds with it.
Okay. Okaydy. I think I know what I need to do then. So you want something that'll bring the foundation down, or you want something? I don't know how we're going to get to that gun. Do you have a plan for that? You should think on that. I'll go work on explosives. That's what I do.
I'll give it some thought.
Yeah.
We'll cut away from there. And Kiana and HT, you have a prisoner on board. You have a TIE fighter hot on your heels. You have Kiana's at the spaceport who have been paid off to try to help defend you. HT, what's the plan here? What are you doing?
So I think that when the camera zooms in, I think we see the speeder bike tearing in towards the spaceport. And I think HT is basically standing on the one stormtrooper, the prisoner, kind of keeping them subdued, stepping on his neck, as it were, and is braced and is taking pot shots at the TIE fighter so that, as it's zooming around, it can't just come directly at us.
Cool.
Yeah. Just laying down covering fire. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. You're laying down cover fire. I really don't think this is, it would be unwise if you were to do battle.
Yeah.
So I think really what you're trying to do is act under fire here to give Kiana an assist.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's see if you can outdrive another vehicle, Kiana.
If I must. Sadly, this time I only got a 12.
You were born for this. Awesome. So let's go ahead and have you. You get to hold 3 against the other driver, and the NPC holds 1 on any hit. And yeah, they're not super worried about taking much damage. So we'll say, yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to increase their speed a little bit here. Yeah, they want to drive fast. But you did drive fast too, so cool. So you're driving fast and safe. The safe means that when are you going to increase your massive or your handling?
My massive, because my massive is better than my handling.
Okay, cool. This vehicle's massive is a 5 because it's a freaking TIE fighter, right? So part of the massive is the fact that it's got big vehicle lasers made to take out starfighters. So your massive increased by 1 puts you at a 3. Is that right? Cool. So let's make sure that I am applying vehicle harm correctly. Is that a comparison of the difference?
Yes, I roll a harm -2.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And
So
I got a 9.
that's pretty good. So let's resolve the V harm. That's in the digital. It's not in the basics, right?
Yeah, it's in page 53 of the zine.
Thank you.
So I choose 1, or my attacker chooses. My attacker chooses 1 of the top 3 options.
Okay, so now force to swerve. Your attacker chooses 1. Give ground. You're driven off course. Your card takes up to 1 harm AP right in the transmission. Yeah, I think your card takes 1 harm AP right in the transmission is what I will choose. But that's not going to take it out, right? 1 harm, cosmetic damage, bullet holes, broken glass, smoke, 0 harm can blow through 2 passengers. So yeah, 0 harm coming through to you guys sounds hilarious because it means you have to roll the harm move. And ahead, well, you guys are going ahead and rolling +0. You hear Kiana 67. They're directing you, like they don't want to take on a TIE fighter. So you hear Kiana 77 saying, hey, take a hard right, get over there by this. And she's directing you to a tramp freighter. And their plan is that they're going to have you pull in real quick and move a bunch of stuff around you and effectively obfuscate you from the TIE fighter to stop the TIE fighter from blowing you guys away. That's their plan. So go ahead and roll your harm there. How did you roll? Did you roll another really super high? Nope.
That's a 5.
Oh, nasty. Sweet.
And we both roll harm?
Yep.
Yep, I rolled a 5 as well.
Nasty. Okay, cool. So let's have you go ahead and take a harm HT. And Kiana, the explosion knocks you back. I'm going to say that you're out of action. HT, you have to pilot the speeder and bring her in. And you see there's a container that opens up. Like it's this big, the tramp freighter that is parked here. They've got a couple of effectively like tractor trailer type containers where they just pick up those things and carry it around. So there's no like the things that they carry. This is not going to be a passenger container. Like if you go into space, you wouldn't be exposed to space, but you wouldn't have much temp or environmental controls. But you see another Kiana dance down and she's trying to wave you through. What do you do?
So I think the HT isn't great at piloting this thing. So he's kind of screeches around the corner. And is Kiana like knocked out?
Yeah.
In the speeder?
Yeah.
So basically screeched around, and it scrapes the ground a little bit and bangs around on the side of the container. And their intention is to put us in the container, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think we see the speeder go in the container, probably at too high of a speed, and then we hear this loud clang and maybe a little bit of smoke come out of the back.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And then a couple of other Kianas like pull a tarp down over top of the entranceway, and they're moving a bunch of crates and hover pads in front as the TIE fighter screams overhead. And Kiana 77 slips in. She turns on a little light. She sees you and kind of reacts, and she'll move in to 67. Hey, sis.
Whoa, that was the best time of my. What the hell? Where am I?
Best we could come up with on short notice. You should be able to hide out here. He's a friend? He's not a friend.
Neither of these people are friends. I have my brother and my prisoner.
Oh. Okay. I've got some binders. She pulls out. They've got like a little pink fuzz around the cuffs.
Thank you, but I have a gun. I think it'll be an easier way to handle this. And I think now that she's coming to, I think, this is like when the camera's ringing, slowly stops, and she reaches for a bolter and just like without even turning, knows exactly where the prisoner is, reaches like back behind her and holds a gun like just at him, and it's like, get 66. She's good at the questioning.
Okay. And 77 will take off, and in a few moments, 66 comes in. She's limping. You see that there's a big amount of there's a huge blood stain that's run down from her pants, and she limps in. She sees UHT, and she just does this. Hey, friends?
I think HT kind of, stands up a little bit more straight and leans over, and then kind of cocks his head towards 67. Let's get this over with.
And she'll turn to 66. I see you. No, good to see you. And then turn to the prisoner, and I think she's just going to reach down, rip the stormtrooper mask off to see who it is. Not that she's going to know who it is, but...
Cool. You pull off the stormtrooper mask, and you see that it is a Hume, of course, a male, and they squint against the torch or the light that 66 shines down into his face, and 66 says, "So what do you want to know?"
I want to know why this person is after what appears to be a useless trinket. And if he won't answer, do you have your tools on you?
Oh, torture's too gauche. I've got some new drugs. They're way more effective.
That's so great. So, do you want to get high, talk, or die? I think I'm going aggro confronting him.
I think so too. Let's see you do it. You can take a +1 because you've got 66 helping you out. And HT, because HT is terrifying.
That is a 9.
On 7 to 9, you've left them some wiggle room, and they can try to escape, bargain with you, or pass off responsibility, or divert you instead. He says, my designation's KN706. I'm from Imperial Regiment 511.
Okay, that's a start. Now, who did this to you, and do you want to be free?
That hint of freedom seems to be tempting to him, and he looks to you, HT. Can't see your face, of course. You're wearing your mask as always, your helmet. What do you say?
There have been many strange things in the Empire recently. The Emperor is no more, but there are false speakers, false prophets who speak to us as if he is.
You're one of us. Why are you acting to hurt our aims?
You are your own person. What is your aim?
I didn't choose this. I just signed up to serve the Empire like you did.
Well, I didn't sign up. I just woke up.
It took you. They've implanted something in some of us, some kind of AI. Some special experiment. Sometimes I lose track of where I am and who I am, and I wake up in different places.
We are more brothers than you think.
Don't you want family and freedom?
You really think that ex-Imperials have a chance once the Empire falls? They're going to string all of us up.
I'm doing pretty well. And I'm a clone.
He looks at you, he looks over at 66, he glances over at 77. Okay. So what do you want from me? What can I do?
I'll reiterate. What do you want with the trinket? And this time, answer more honestly.
It's a power crystal. Zinj wants it. He feels like it can be part of some kind of super weapon. Like the Death Star, but smaller, easier to transport.
Sounds too real to be made up. And I think she'll cry out, like for the eldest of their group, is 44 here.
And 77 says, "Oh, of course she is." And a much older version of Kiana will pop her head in. "What do you want, dearie?"
I need and she, like, I don't know, like the devices of Star Wars. Like, I need like some kind of like electronic scrambler kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think she'll like scan this stormtrooper, like find like the implant, and I want to, I think, deceive the implant with this device that the trooper is dead, so it'll stop like sending the signals to him for a while.
Deceive. Yeah.
And I don't know if I can without help though.
Yeah, you're definitely either going to need some help, or this is definitely be a thing that Vale could help out with.
Yeah.
Wasn't this kind of a project that Vale had set up?
Yeah.
Something similar to this? Yeah.
You realize while trying to scramble it that you're going to need Vale's help.
Yeah.
This is beyond you, unfortunately.
I think I'll just say, like, I can either give you the drugs that my sister promised you and dig this out, like I did with myself, or we can take you to someone who can do better than just drugs and some surgery.
No offense, clone, but I'll take option 2.
No offense taken. I mean, Vale saved my bacon. And she'll give the scanner back and pat the guy on the cheek. Welcome to the family.
I think HT reaches over and kind of picks him up to stand him upright, and then kind of gives him a little elbow bump. Like camaraderie, maybe.
No,
Yeah,
he kind of looks at you oddly because you're like way taller than him and monstrous, but then he just tentatively like bumps your elbow.
I think he kind of gets knocked a little bit off kilter because
Totally.
Yeah. Then Kiana will get out of the vehicle, go up to HT37, and I think she like for the first time she takes his hand like really tenderly and like looks up like wet, teary eyes. I am so sorry that I did what I did back there. I should not have, but it was. Can you ever forgive me?
we will see.
I owe you. Whatever you need, you have a favor from me whenever you need it.
Okay. That may be important.
Yeah, and as soon as I think she recovers real quickly before she turns to the other clones. Okay, siblings, we've done our job. Now let's get slobbed. Drinks on me.
Okay, cool. That's nice. And you hear a cheer from several voices that are all the mirror of Kiana's. And we'll cut away from you guys and drop back in on Vale and Bard and Swana.
So have we made our way back to your workshop, Vale? Does that work for you?
Sure, I think that's where we'd be going. So I think that makes sense.
All right. So let me just step up to the meta level for a moment.
Yeah.
There's a vigilant move. Lay out a plan that it feels like we're in need of right now. However, I need to do like one more thing to mark enough improvements and unlock that plan. So I want to know what's up with Swana. Like, does she seem on board with the plan we've begun brewing? Is she looking hesitant? Is she looking like wistfully off into the distance? And then I will make a move.
She seems like the kind of person who showed up for class and was told there was a quiz that she wasn't ready for. And so she spent a lot of time sharpening her pencil and looking around to see how everybody else is reacting to it. And she's just going to push her way through this quiz, fretting the whole time that she's failing.
Yeah, I turn to her and I say, Swana, you seem anxious. Is there something on your mind?
This is a lot.
Agreed.
And I just want to make sure if this is some kind of terrible super weapon that we do the right thing, I guess. We'll see.
I'm going to read someone.
Okay.
I think Bard is just like, trying to be solicitous, but just like standing slightly too close and like looking slightly too unblinkingly at Swana here.
That's why she's dropping to the do the right thing and make people happy. See, that's what I want. That's what everyone would want.
I rolled snake eyes.
Oh my god.
And even with too sharp, there's no way to get that
Yeah.
Or I don't think there's any help I can give you.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's such good stuff. So, how can Swanna get you on her side, Bard? How can Swanna get you to support her and give her credit for being awesome here?
Ooh, yeah. I think if she takes down a wolf, that will absolutely earn a great deal of credit and respect from Bard.
Cool. She looks and says, do you guys need me to keep a watch out?
Feels like, yeah. Hey, why don't you open the weapon case and get another gun that does something different than that one in case you need to switch through. We don't know what we're going to be going into, and I want you to have all the best tools.
Thanks, Phil. And she'll
Yeah.
open up the weapon case and grab a couple of pistols and kind of load herself up with a few more weapons. She's very excited, like kid at the store, and then maybe she's been told pick whatever you want. She picks 3 of whatever she wants.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled, kid. You never know what's going to come around the corner.
Okay. I'm going to climb up on top. She seems to really like the idea of like climbing up on top and overwatching. It's always her first go-to. So she'll go out and climb up on top of the workshop.
Awesome. So I need to figure out this crystal so that I can make a good copy of it, but not as good a copy that it would actually work like this crystal. So I guess that's an open your brain.
Should we lay out a plan first, just so we have some hold just in case?
Sure. Okay. Yes.
Just because I think we've got the gist of it, right? So like the layout plan is just Vale and Bard putting their heads together, and it goes like, all right, so we can't, whatever happens, they can't get the real crystal, but if we give them a fake crystal, we might be able to just disable this gun permanently, use the real crystal to blow out the foundations of the soul tree, and remove this threat from the board.
That's right.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'll take a +1 on this from the previous oftener right consultation.
Yep.
Hoot. I'll take it too because that gives me an improvement.
I'll pull that into layout a plan, rolling with sharp, and hopefully I will have enough hold to be useful going forward. Okay, great. I rolled a 10. My sharp is 2. That's a nice sweet 12 there. So I'm sure this will have been worth it. Whatever problems we've caused, with my miss with the Swanna read. Great. All right. So I got 3 to hold that, like, throughout doing this plan, any of us can spend 1 from the hold to get +1 to a roll, inflict +1 harm, or suffer -1 harm. With, I assume, the flavor being we'd foreseen that eventuality and had a plan for it.
Cool.
I'll mark this down somewhere so we remember it. But
yeah, I might want to drop it in notes at the bottom or something, or
yeah. Perfect.
Put it in the chat here for now as well, so people can have it front of mind.
Yeah.
So you, Vale, wanted to try to figure out how to make a copy of this thing? Is that your?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's tinkering, right?
No, I don't think so, actually. Because of the nature of it, I do think it is actually open your mind to understand the actual, like, what the key is to the crystal. Does that make any sense? Because they're going to put that thing I mean, it has to look enough like it and like fit
Mhm.
into the holding. So I have to have a really good sense of the holding. But I also have to make sure it doesn't work. And it's a crystal. So I got to find
Okay.
something. I mean, it's got a lot of things going on. If that makes
It's got a
any
lot
sense.
of things going on. Okay.
That would be my first take on it. But if
Well-
you want to just do tinker, we can do that too.
Well, Tinker. Well, I kind of like the idea of this coming down to a die roll. So let's go ahead and have you open your brain to
There
try
might
to
be a
find.
there might be a way that to bring them both, because sometimes one of the tinker conditions is first you'll have to, such and such X, right? So the condition could just be you can tinker, but first you'll have to open your brain.
Oh, that's fun. That way we get a little bit of both of what we want, because it feels like
Okay.
a tinkering with that opening your brain to it being the first step sounds fun. So tinkering, you've gone into your workspace and you want to solve a problem here. First, you're going to need to open your brain and get a hit in order to create a proper facsimile for this power crystal. Then it's going to cost a ton of jingle to create an actual something that can carry a current in a crystal as well. It's going to cost you a total of 4 jingle to create this crystal.
How do I get that?
That is a great question. Barter is how you can get it, and you may need to get some help from other people who have more barter. Kiana has a lot of cash. Sure, Kiana does. Sure, Kiana does. One of the Kianas does. I've heard. Cool. And it's going to cost a ton of jingle. And you're exposing yourself to some serious danger, right? Because the wolves are still after you, and you're sitting here at your workshop.
Yep.
There we go.
Awesome.
That feels like an appropriate project for you.
Okay, here it goes. So that's 7 plus 3 is a 10.
Awesome. Yes, you feel this power crystal. You feel that it actually has a connection to some kind of primal aspect to the planet itself. It can be taken away from the planet. That's why it's been put into crystal form. You don't believe in such things, but this is also a crystal that could power it could be fashioned into some kind of saber of light or laser, perhaps. You've seen those crystals.
I have, yeah, we have seen those because didn't Swanna's blaster get cut by one?
Mm-hmm.
So the bad guys have them. Not cool.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
much weaker ones.
Yes. So this one would be super powerful.
This is a type of kyber crystal that is very powerful, used to power super weapons. Fun fact: kyber crystals were used for the Death Star. So.
Oh, I know nothing of this, but I know how to make a fake one that will look like that, but do something different than what this one was meant to. Specifically, since I've seen in my vision that what it does is it concentrates the power. It's the concentrating crystal before, essentially. I will make it so that it does concentrate the power, but it doesn't pass it through. So it essentially just takes
keeps
all the
going,
power,
going.
yeah, and then it blows up.
Oh, that's pretty nasty.
Okay.
Cool. So how do you want to spend that 4 barter that you need? I think that's more than you got, because you got 0 barter.
I got 0 because you keep making me spend it.
I know, it's fun.
This is the neatest. And I haven't had a chance to actually do any business. So
I know. You guys keep going on adventures.
I know.
I got 2 barter.
You have some barter?
I've got 2 barter, yeah.
Got 2. So we just need 2 more barter.
I know.
Let's see here. Where can we get some barter?
Ringy
from?
dingy dingy.
So yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, do we have some way to get in touch with the others?
I can give Kiana a call.
Yeah. Tell her we just need a little dosh. Just a little for a few days. Then I'll pay her back with continued life here on this planet.
Hey, it's Bard. That wasn't so hard.
Oh, you're terrible at this. Leave it to Sis.
Listen, do you have some money? We need a few more credits for a little project that'll hopefully be beneficial to, well, everyone on Dathomir, but us in particular.
Who's we?
Vale and I are putting something together.
No, say no more. And she'll meet. How much you need?
6.
Okay, honey. I'm not made of money. How much you need?
Just 4.
How much you got on you?
1.
I'm gonna read a person.
Okay, why don't you?
The worst.
Go ahead.
Got
and
a
roll plus
9.
chart. Got a 9. Okay, you get to ask one question.
Uh,
Hold 2. Sorry, hold 2.
Are you telling the truth?
No, I've got 2 on me, but there's one I want to keep squirreled away for emergencies.
And second, need to get the correct thing up. Second question. How could I get you to not kill my newest family member when you meet them?
Oh, the new trooper?
Yeah, because they were one of the wolves that attacked us.
Yeah, so I think like based on what you know of Bard overall, you might be able to put together that he is interested in defeating the wolves, but curing the wolves will count for him. So if you can convince him that the trooper is cured of being a wolf or on the way to being cured of being a wolf, Bard will give him a chance. Just like he's giving hate a chance.
Yeah, I think she'll chuckle. I know you're lying, but I can't have the whole world dying. I really like it. So here you go, and she'll bring up Vale's information because I think she's gone to Grig's shop before. Well, Vale's shop now, and
What's left of it.
I'll transfer my 3 barter over.
Wow, that is awesome.
Very generous.
Sweet. Cool. So I think, even though it's a little bit on the early side, I'd really like the idea of kind of our closing scene is Vale's created this facsimile, right? She has the fake power crystal, and it looks just like the original. It was expensive. It wasn't easy to 3D print this or whatever crazy stuff that Vale used to slap this thing together. But that's what you guys have at our anything else that you guys wanted to do at this scene of creation of the fake power crystal?
One of the things that she does do is she places it next to the other one just so it has some of that residual sense of the essence of the planet on it when she does hand it over. And while she's making the other explosive devices, I mean, you see her put the 2 crystals together. She just has the one that she's made. She has a little thread tied around one end of it so that she knows which is which. There we go. Setting it up for you.
Little thread. I love it. Now, do you imagine that Kiana 67 and HT 37 are still kind of hiding out, or do you think you guys have headed towards Vale and Bard?
Oh, headed towards them, I'd say, right, HT?
Oh, absolutely. I think that, we have several things that we need to talk to Vale about. I think you've kind of prepaid for the help that you need with the Stormtrooper, and I think Vale has a project that I don't know about going on for me. Yeah.
And I like to imagine the final scene, like after the credits roll, is Kiana coming out. This isn't the end. This is what's going to happen next time, my friend. And like the stinger for the next episode comes on.
Cute. Yeah, so we have the crystal. Vale has the crystal. She's tied the string around one, and Kiana and HT, you guys come into the workshop. As you're doing so, you bring in the ex-trooper. He's still in his scout bike stuff, and San's helmet, and we see outside the workshop outside in this particular area, there are troop transports that are arriving. Their stormtroopers are starting to filter through and start checking idents, and they are searching for something. And that is where we'll bring this session a little bit on the early side, but bring it to the end. So we have our end of session move. We'll have everybody bounce through session end. At the end of every session, choose a character who knows you better than they used to. If there's more than one, choose one at your whim. If no one knows you any better, choose a character who doesn't know you as well and give them a -1 to their HX with you on their character sheet. We'll start off with Bard. Who knows you better, Bard?
Kiana, definitely, because we got some good interaction with you, including that haggle at the end, where Kiana totally saw through Bard's facade.
Nice. So Kiana, you add +1 to your HX with Bard. Kiana, 67. Who knows you better?
Well, I have to reciprocate and give it to Bard because he saw the real me, which I'm thankful for, but I may have to kill you for.
Yeah, we'll see some more fallout to that because I have some questions.
That'll be fun. Vale, who knows you better?
Oh, I think probably poor Bard because, I just keep twisting him around when he has a strong sense of what needs to happen, and she just doesn't go along with him. So.
Wow. I am for the like the weird antisocial vigilant. I'm getting closer to everybody.
Everyone likes your miscreant for some reason.
Wait, does that mean that mine goes up higher?
No,
Okay.
You don't adjust any.
Okay.
When you say who knows you better, they adjust +1
Okay.
to the HX on pointing
Cool.
towards you.
I think
Thanks for
I started at -2 with Bard, so that's pretty good.
And then HT, who knows you better?
I think Kiana does. Yeah.
Woo.
Cool. Awesome. Good. So what I'd like to do then is just take a quick 2-minute bio break, and then anyone who wants to stick around, we'll do roses, stars, and wishes. So I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
I like how I've become the Motormouth Maybell of our game.
It's pretty awesome, actually. An excellent shtick. So I am actually pretty amazed at how well Burned Over does capers? Not capers exactly. I guess action adventure. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, and like the way Rich doesn't like to do battle, that's me with the vehicle moves. Like I chose the operator. It's like, well, I've got to learn how to do this better. So maybe as a player, it won't be as bad. It's like, nope, still kind of fiddly, but I'll work through it.
It seems like something that might work a little bit better face to face because you have something maybe that you could put in front of you to negotiate it or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, and the way I run it online is that we both like whatever typing or chat mechanic we have, like I'll type in my choices, they'll type in their choices, then 1, 2, 3, we enter at the same time.
Oh, interesting. That's good.
So that way, like I don't see, well, they've chosen to fight for blood twice. I'll choose to fight defensively and take their option away from them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. No, very good. Yeah, it'd be one of those things of if everyone had a deck of like 8 cards or something for that, where they could choose, what cards they had, and then you just both turn them over at the table. That would be awesome.
And you didn't forget to mark your improvement for giving information for often or right, did you?
No, I did mark one.
Good.
So it's just that a lot of the things I do don't generate, like they're not rolls, right? So
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm really glad Alexi said that about the open your
Mhm.
brain, because like I would never have thought to like make a basic move be one of the first things you have to do.
no, it's perfect. If we played this longer, I definitely at first I didn't get what the brain, what was there, the
Open your
force.
brain.
No, what the brainer or brain cut, whatever they
Brain
are.
picker?
Brain picker. Yeah, I didn't get what they did. So like they had that separate little stat, and I was like, oh, that's goofy. And now I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting actually. So I can buy some gear that gives me a little stat on it and the ability to do a brain picker thing.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah, I took your enemy's methods, where I can use my brain as a weapon and inflict armor-piercing harm equal to my psi. My psi is only 1 though, but it's still I
AP harm is pretty sweet.
gotta pull that out at some point.
Nice. Let's do 2 stars and a wish. Star. Positive feedback to your fellow players, or talk about particular moments in the game that you enjoyed. And a wish is something you'd like to see in our 4th and final session, our last session. Oh, right? We are doing 4, right? I haven't got my month mixed up. Okay, good. Woo! I know the Hearts of the Force is going to be 5, so
That's gonna be amazing.
I hope so. Really nervous, but excited. Alexi, I'll let you start off. 2 stars and a wish.
Yeah, big star to Kiana for that wolfish reveal. Surprised me and definitely excites me about stuff going forward. And a star to a star to Rich for for another reveal, the soul tree, and they're kind of working with the troopers like that gives us something really interesting and tangible to be trying to deal with moving forward, and especially like when it felt like where do we go? Suddenly there's a target of where to go. All right, we'll come up with a plan for this. Definitely, yeah, star for that. Are we doing wishes on a separate round, or wishes as well on this round?
You can go ahead and do wish.
I think
Wishes if you have multiple.
I think my main wish is just to get the chance to kind of confront Kiana a little bit about this new information about her and what kind of wolvery is going on there. And and then the other wish is to try to pull off this plan and see what happens when we go up against the soul tree and the troopers and the wolves and this big old weapon they got.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Alexi. And we got all S names now, so I'll go with Sawyer.
I will start with my wish for. Thank you for hitting my. I was not here last time, so that my wish of like getting to drive really paid off this time. So other wish is I want to see more of I want to see like myself with Vale and Kretha and Bar. Like I love hanging out with HT37, but it's like been it's been like the 67 and 37 show a lot with us.
Yeah, that I agree, and that's why I was hoping that I could pull you guys in at the end of this session so that we could open up and we could kind of change the pairings and mix stuff around. I totally saw that as a thing, and I'm hope that we can all shuffle the deck.
Stars for Steven for being able to play like you play the weaponized well, and you take like here's my order, and like you like I feel like we have a connection, and you're not just like HT37 is not a tool. He's a character, and he's a very, even though he's like very combative and fighting, he's not a one-dimensional character, and I really like that. And Vale for like my favorite trap I've seen in Apocalypse World of just like, well, there's a lot of arms here. These aren't holding guns. Pew pew.
That was great. Sweet. Thank you so much, Sawyer. Sherry.
Let's see here. Okay, so stars to Sawyer. I want to say that as a player, you are the best at bringing sort of deeply thought out background details forward into the story in a way that doesn't drag everything down and just like sort of brightens it and enlightens it and brings nice new dimensions to the story and to your character. I really appreciate that. That's a awkward thing for a lot of people, but you are one of the best people for doing that I have seen. So I have to call that out. I also want to give big points to Alexi for working with my weird, I don't know my moves kind of thing, where I'm just going to kind of talk and he kind of helps me get through that stuff so that I'm actually doing moves. Thank you. And that we actually move the story forward. I do enjoy that a lot. And I do appreciate your assistance with that. So, and then stars to Rich, because I wasn't sure. I am not as deep into the Star Wars stuff as the rest of you guys are, but I'm super enjoying this, and it feels Star Warsy to me, so I'm really enjoying that. Even just a little part of it that I know it has that kind of, now we go here, we take care of this, and then we're running this way, and then we, and everyone's good guys in a weird, different way. And that's fun. So in wishes, other than I wouldn't mind playing in more of these now that I've tried one. So these are really fun. And I think, yeah, I have loved playing with Bard and that stuff, but I would like to do the character switch. I'm really looking forward to doing that with running with some of the other folks. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much. Steven, bring us home.
Yeah, I'm going to start with wishes. And I think I'm going to have more than one. My first wish is that to be honest, I'm struggling a little bit with HT because he seems a little bit one-dimensional, and I'm trying to push out into different directions to get more interactions. So I think switching up characters will be good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with the other trooper and myself with Vale's ongoing clock task, whatever that's called. Because I kind of want to see where that goes. And the other wish that I had was I took a new move and I'd like to see it get engaged because it's very evocative. I took it from the Undaunted playbook, which is standing across the threshold. You get +1 psi, and you get to confront the world's psychic maelstrom as though it were a person, and you can interrupt it. Don't expect it to beg for your mercy. And I just love the idea that. So I imagine that the maelstrom and opening your brain and that kind of stuff is force related, and I kind of hope to see a confrontation between this AI and the force that's kind of going back and forth. So as far as stars, I want to say that so some of this happened in the chat, but the idea of using the crystal to blow up the other crystals, making a fake crystal to blow up the other crystals, I thought was fantastic. I don't know who had that idea, but that was great. And then the other star is to Bard for bringing in for the wolves who have become such a big important part of the whole. I guess it's for Bard and for Rich, because Rich brought in the wolves are AI controlled stormtroopers, sort of, and they're all kind of interrelated, and it fits so well. So yeah.
I mean, that was really just keying off of HT's answer, and then you're further fleshing it out last session, and then stuff from Kiana, and it really felt organic from all of us. But I'm glad that worked well for you, and that's awesome. I'm super happy that we got a hey, this feels Star Warsy, because our first feedback was this doesn't quite yet feel Star Wars. So we got there, and I'm happy about that. That is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and bring this recording to a close. We will finish things up next session. Scott will be joining us, hopefully, if everything's all right, and we'll have a big, huge group to finish off our Apocalypse World Burned Over on Dathomir.
It'll be good to have a medic.
Yeah, you need one. Awesome. I'll stop the live stream here.